Okay.
Hi folks, this is Bob. I'm not wearing a mask because Mary's behind the camera and frankly we live together. We're about to get a visit from a very special source. It's going to be a surprise, and maybe by this little preamble talk you'll be able to figure out what's coming in the truck. I'd like to talk about advances in loudspeaker design, some amazing things that are happening that are helping us who often have to mix in smaller spaces. The first thing is loudspeakers with a DSP that controls the directivity so that the pattern of the loudspeaker is cardioid or nearly cardioid. What that means is, for example, let's say I'm a loudspeaker. I emit my radiation forward like this. But behind me, there's very little emission, even down to low frequencies. Now this is a very special development when you're working in a small studio, because the front wall, the one that's behind the speakers or in front of you, the mixing engineer, has a big effect on the acoustics and the response of the speakers. They can get very boomy and muddy. So the first development in loudspeaker design that's happening with good DSP is cardioid pattern. Next development, if you're working in a very small room, is to get a loudspeaker that is a line radiator or a near line radiator. A line radiator has the unique characteristic of reducing its dispersion in the vertical domain, either upward or downward. And what that means is that the loudspeaker can reject reflections from your low ceiling or the floor, all of which ends up creating a loudspeaker with a very neutral response. All right, we're back. I have no idea if you heard that, but Mary got a notification on her on my iPhone, and she pushed the button, and now we're back. Welcome to live. Okay, so do you have any questions, anybody who's out there, as to how these patterns are achieved and what the possible compromises are, if there are any, and what the achievement could do for you as a mix or even a mastering engineer working in a small room? Anybody out there watching this? Mary says
Yes. There are people watching. I haven't seen any questions yet.
Okay.
And so then I have to wait until the...
All right. Well, let me elaborate. Let's say that you're mixing and you need what I feel is very important in any environment, which is an accurate frequency, phase, and impulse response. When you get that, you have to work less. Your loudspeaker is most accurate.
Do you use TP limiting? And if not, why not?
Okay, that's a separate question. This gentleman wants to know if I use true peak limiting, and if not, why not? If you're saying in mastering, I certainly don't like the idea of using a peak limiter like that during mixing, but in mastering, if necessary, I would use a true peak limiter if it's going to help me get to the level that I feel I need to make for the master. Does that answer your question?
I think it did, but who am I to say?
Yeah. All right. Any other questions about loudspeakers? And does anybody have any guesses what's about to arrive?
Let's see. It's behind a little tag, so I can't see right now. Okay, what's your opinion on coax speaker systems for small rooms?
I think that coaxial is a big development, but I think that we can go even further. What the advantages of coaxial have shown themselves with, for example, the Genelec 8351 and the 83XX series. The coaxial pattern really helps to make a great sound stage and also improves the depth. No question on that. But the developments that I was talking about here go beyond the advantages of coaxial.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
Okay.
what could we be
Do you
talking-
use any correction software for the speakers?
I do. I believe that well-designed correction software and your knowledge of how to use it can help to improve, take a very good speaker in a reasonable room with treatment to a great system. But if you don't use the correction correctly, you can go downhill. Overcorrecting is as bad as no correction at all. So that's a topic.
Somebody says, I think you're getting a pair of W371 woofer extensions.
Is that something that I attach to my hair? Extensions? I think I might need some extensions on the top of my head. No, nice guess, I guess, but no woofer extensions coming. By the way, well, it's any minute now. Mary, your phone's there. They're supposed to be here any minute now. I wonder if I can keep up this discussion while we're waiting for this surprise package. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go back to this business of cardioid. The cardioid pattern in a loudspeaker, which is still very rare to find, goes beyond the idea of coaxial. If the polar pattern, the horizontal polar pattern of this cardioid loudspeaker is very even, then you can get just as good, if not better, horizontal soundstage imaging as you can get with a coaxial.
Good one. There's going to be another question that I'll be able to see. What's your opinion on single drivers when limited SPL is not an issue?
I don't have much experience listening to single driver loudspeakers. I think that the one or two that I have heard have been a bit too colored for my taste. So I don't think that the technology is capable of producing a wide enough frequency range at a sufficient SPL. Now there are some electrostatic and full range ribbon loudspeakers, but they cheat. They'll add some cone woofers and maybe some super tweeters. So there's no such thing as a free lunch. You can't beat the laws of physics.
Very good. Well, let me see what other little things. Okay, what's your opinion on single? Okay, you already spoke about that.
I'm a single driver, folks.
What do you
Actually, I'm
think of the
married-
Dangerous Music Concert 2 regarding spatial imaging?
I haven't used it. I don't know anything about that. But almost anything that's produced by Dangerous Music is designed to be very natural and transparent. So I'm a big fan of their products. So I'd have to check that out.
Do you prefer filter than LIR filter for speaker correction?
Do I like FIR filter over IIR filter? Well, IIR filters have near zero latency. So if you're recording live, or if you're syncing to video, or if you need to fix a click or some other noise or PQ code, then you have to use an IIR filter for correction. So, but if you want superiority of impulse response, impact, stereo imaging, and depth, then I would recommend an FIR filter with linear phase and correction.
Have you worked in surrounds? If so, is there a specific monitoring system that you prefer?
I have a really incredible surround monitoring system downstairs in Studio A. And believe it or not, the left and right front speaker are a different brand and model than the center speaker, and the two surround speakers are a different brand and model from the other three. And the subwoofers are a different brand from the rest. So through the magic of very good DSP and correction, you can't tell that they're different models.
So where is the surprise package?
I don't know. Did I get on the air too early? That's why I thought I would ad-lib and talk about loudspeaker design, and maybe that's a hint as to what's going to be arriving. Are we going to have to go? Come on, guys, keep the questions going. Any minute now, we're going to see a truck arriving. But that's
Thomas
not it.
Jansen,
Hi,
when is
Thomas.
the surprise arriving, he says.
Today, almost now.
Why
Thomas.
is he mentioning Thomas Jansen? Somebody mentioned his name and say, hey, Thomas Jansen, when is the surprise arriving?
Who asked Thomas Jansen when is the surprise arriving?
I don't know, because the
It's scrolled
feed
up.
already crawled up and I can't see the name of the person.
Okay. So who are you? And please reveal yourself.
Okay. Somebody is talking about something that they love, but I can't see what it is yet because I have a little note that says, try another way of going live during your broadcast. Should I push that button?
No.
Okay, well then, okay, here we go. Somebody says, Key is arriving, something or other. And then Tom, oh, that was quick. I guess too many people started talking. You can scroll up. Give us a hint. What size package?
Okay.
And then it says something about Dynaudio monitors. What? Regards from Germany. Let me see. That was from her. Oh, have you ever worked with Dynaudio monitors?
Of course, my goodness, we had a big revelation of the Dynaudio M5Ps a couple of years ago, and they're still in absolutely incredible use in Studio A, the mastering room.
How important is mechanical vibration control to you?
Very important. I'm going to be doing a research project on mechanical vibration control I should sit down or stand up?
Yeah, just sit down. I just wanted you to move forward so that the sun is not hitting your head. There we go.
Okay. I am extremely in favor of mechanical vibration control and isolation. Since there's been a lot of so-called controversy about it in some circles, I'm doing a research project right now that will hopefully scientifically demonstrate the advantages.
So, in your opinion, too fast. Do you use Dante at all?
Not right now. I don't have a good reason to use Dante in mastering or mixing right now.
What about Phantom F113?
Oh, the Fathom.
Fathom? Okay, sorry, Fathom.
The Fathom F113 by JO are some of the best subwoofers that you could ever buy.
What do you think about solid silver cable something or other? Oh, sorry, I couldn't read fast
What
enough.
do I think about solid silver cable? Overpriced and probably not necessary.
Okay. Somebody is saying you use Audio Vero Accurate.
I do use Accurate. I use Accurate for alignment and correction in Studio A.
Okay. Sorry, guys, that I am not as quick. Well, I read it sometimes and then I can't remember. Would you be interested in trying out single driver speakers that are corrected with DSP as well as having some not yet something or other?
In my copious free time, no. Chances are, I have to, every new thing that's intriguing to me, I have to give it a priority. And based on the laws of physics, I doubt that I would find one that would satisfy me in terms of SPL or distortion. But I could be wrong. Maybe you've beaten the laws of physics.
How about handy amps, EQ, and compressor?
Repeat that.
Handy amps.
Handy amps, EQ, and compressor. Sorry, never heard of it.
Okay. Get closer to the mic. LOL. Okay, here we go.
Ha.
Can't get much closer than this.
Yeah.
I have to
well,
bend over. Oh boy.
good
Okay.
thing- good thing we're
why did
related.
you make the K stereo system? Any reason? Something or other.
Why did I invent the K stereo processor? Well, I've always been interested in improving the sound of a stereo recording, and I had a lot of orientation before I invented the K stereo with different methods of ambience extraction, and I adapted those methods to a stereo in, stereo out process.
What's your current opinion about loudness war? It got a little better, but there's still a lot of improvement.
We're all waiting for Spotify to lower their target down to something more reasonable, like -16, stop the peak limiting, and stop the upward gain. Until then, I think it's going to be difficult because also Apple Music has not made soundcheck default in their streaming. So when you take the two biggest players, which would have to be Spotify and possibly Apple, not doing effective normalization, it's really difficult to make progress. But I am co-chair of the Streaming Loudness Committee of the AES, and we're trying our best to make a recommendations document that will be relevant to the streamers, and everybody wants to get on board. NARIS is dying to see these be effective recommendations. I think we'll see some movement in the next year.
Okay. Audio notwithstanding, how are you two holding up?
I'm crawling up the walls.
That was Gary Gottlieb asking.
Hi, Gary. I'm crawling up the walls. How are you holding up?
I wish I could have seen or remembered the different questions people were asking, because sometimes, suddenly people ask a lot of questions, and then sometimes they slow down a little bit.
Yeah, folks who may have just tuned in, we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of a truck. They told us an hour ago that it would be 20 minutes.
No, 40 minutes.
40 minutes, an hour ago. So we thought we were on time. Maybe they got lost. Anyway, so I'm filling in the time with a Q&A session all about audio, and also been giving some hints.
Viewpoint of dissimilar?
Huh?
Viewpoint of dissimilar.
I don't know what the question is.
Okay, let's see. He says I can scroll up. Oh, okay, I see. Oh, wow.
Scrolling. It's not for breakfast anymore.
Okay, let me see. Do you know? Okay, let me see. What's your thought on mastering for digital platforms, seeing that they're all different levels? Any preference? Oh, any preferred loudness?
Okay, that's a very good question. You'll find from the most knowledgeable mastering engineers that trying to
Wait, Bobby, answer it, because that's going to be the drive.
Hello, Mary's phone. Hi, is this Pablo? Hi, this is Bob. So you're almost. Okay, thank you for the update. All right. We're doing great. If you have a moment just before you get onto the street, ring, because we're going to look for your truck and we're on Facebook Live announcing your arrival. Okay. All right. Cuídate. Okay, ciao. Folks, that was an update from the truck driver. He says he's on 436 and he's 20 minutes away.
Oh boy.
So the question is, can I sustain this talk for 20 minutes while we're still waiting for the truck? Things do get later these days during the COVID-19. Now, what was the question that I was...
What's your thought on mastering for digital platforms,
yes.
seeing that they all have different levels, any preferred loudness?
Okay. As I was trying to answer that question, I was going to say that experienced mastering engineers and professional and high-end listeners have learned that when you try to aim for a particular target to supposedly please one streaming service, you're going to make a piece of crap. Okay? Mix for the best sound possible, whatever that sound is that you're going for. Master for the best sound possible. If that, I would recommend that you mix and master at most to the quality, standard, and dynamic range of an LP made in the 1980s, and it will translate everywhere. It won't be too loud, won't be too soft, won't be too dynamic. Now, if you want to crush your sound for a particular sound quality, just be aware that if you make the loudness above the target for Spotify, Spotify will turn it down and it will sound wimpy. So be careful about trying to compete in that world, because Spotify will turn things down. What loudness do I aim for? It often turns out, I don't try necessarily aim for one, but it often turns out that the album's loudness averages for me about minus 16 LUFS, sometimes as high as minus 14. When I go above that, it tends to be compromised. And as I said, Spotify will turn that down. So why bring it up further? You're only going to be pushing into Spotify's limiter. But if you insisted, I would turn it up. I mean, and the only person you're going to please is yourself, because it's not going to make it to good streaming. That much I can tell you.
Move forward just a little bit, Bobby. Okay, now, what is your minimum SPL requirement at listening position?
For mixing or mastering?
You'd have to ask Marco Sabatini. What are you referring to, mixing or mastering, with regards to what's your minimum SPL requirement at listening position?
Okay.
Let's see if he's going to give us an answer.
Okay.
I have to go all the way to the end.
I'm going to try to answer
Listening.
that. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to answer that. And it's a very good question. First of all, headroom is really, really important. If a loudspeaker can play at a given SPL but can't produce peaks 20 dB above that SPL without overload or producing excessive harmonic distortion, then the speaker is not qualifiable. But I do know some mixing engineers working with very small speakers that have worked out very well for them by working at a very close listening distance. For example, the Genelec 8040As, which are fairly small loudspeakers, are all generally tonally pretty neutral, even without a subwoofer. And if you are starting out and you want something small because you can't afford something bigger, then you would have to use the 8040s at a little bit closer than midfield distance, but try to be a little bit farther than near field, and you can get away with it. Now, those speakers are not going to produce a tremendous SPL. I'm going to guess that if you would have to work at mezzo fortes around 75 dB SPL with those tiny speakers, and hope that they won't overload. And don't go trying to play hip hop with those. I'll tell you, you're not going to get very far. But you can, by working at a somewhat closer distance, get away with smaller speakers. But let's just say, what would be the optimum that I would recommend for SPL in a mixed environment where the speakers are in the midfield? Far field we can forget about because there's no far field in a control room. But in the midfield, say up to 9 feet away, up to 3 meters away from the listener, somewhere between 7 and 9 feet, then in the mixed room, I would say if your loudspeaker can do 100 dB SPL above 100 hertz at less than 1% distortion, and 100 dB SPL below 100 hertz, below 50 hertz, let's say, at less than 5% distortion, then you've got a good speaker for the mixed room. In the mastering room, I would say that's FedEx, but it's not our truck. So that was a false alarm. Hi, FedEx. You guys are killing it during this COVID-19. So in the mastering room, I would say a speaker with a more headroom than that would be great. My speakers can do 120 dB SPL. I never play them that loudly, but that headroom translates to tremendous clarity and punch.
Now, Thomas Jansen wants to know, tell us about your most recent new plug-in favorites.
Okay, my favorite plugins. The first favorite plugin that I have is Low Ender. It's by Refuse Audio, R-E-F-U-S-E. I've actually endorsed it, and just out of the blue, I said this is an incredible plugin which I discovered. It allows you to produce very clean subharmonics, especially useful in mastering when you get a recording in where the mixing engineer somehow lobbed off the extreme low frequencies. You can quite convincingly, and I would say 9 times out of 10, resupply a lot of that feeling and that deep solid punch with Low Ender. So that's my first highly recommended plugin. The next recommended plugin is a new compressor from Tone Projects called Unisum, U-N-I-S-U-M. It's very powerful and very versatile and very clean, or it can be very clean, but you can also create some kind of transformer type distortion if you push a certain button on it. So I would check it out if you want a compressor that even at low sample rates will not produce the kinds of artifacts that you often get from some other plugins, depending on the plugin. There are a lot of other plugins that are clean. This is the cleanest compressor that I've ever used in the plugin domain, and it rivals some of my best outboard analog compressors. What else am I using these days? Well, Equilibrium from DMG, a great linear phase or minimum phase equalizer. I highly recommend it. It's versatile, reasonably priced, great little equalizer.
Okay, and are you still using the LCD4? Is there any other headphone you would like to have instead?
That's an excellent question. First of all, I'm blessed with having a great loudspeaker monitoring system. So in my mastering or mixing, I've never had to, well, at least in the past 10 or 15 years, I've never had to put on headphones to check my mix or my master. So I only use headphones for secondary reference or for entertainment. And I do like to have headphones which are as accurate as possible. And so I'm loving my Odyssey LCD4. They're very expensive. I actually have 2 pairs, and they fulfill my definition of accuracy and entertainment and enjoyment. But they are not lightweight. They are quite heavy and quite a bit uncomfortable. You can't wear them for a very long time. Mary, are we still broadcasting?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's a new headphone from Odyssey, the LCD1, which at $399 is an incredible bargain. I would say if you're going to go with Odyssey, you either want to get the LCD1 at $400 or jump all the way up, in my opinion, to the LCD4, because there's nothing in between that satisfies me personally. They're all compromises in one range or another, and Odyssey has worked miracles with the LCD1. They've created a very neutral and impacting frequency response in a low-cost headphone. It replaces my Oppo PM3 headphones, which are no longer made, which was really sad. Now, in the mid-price region, somewhere around $2,000, I've seen things from, I think it's the HeadFi. I'm sorry, I heard it over at David Chesky's, and I was quite impressed in that range. There are a lot of headphones I haven't heard, so and I haven't been actively pursuing them, so I wish I could tell you more. All I can say is LCD1, LCD4, and maybe something from HeadFi, if that's a brand. Apologize.
So Roy Beery wants to know, hey Bob, good to see you. Ever got to hear the Neumann KH310s?
Are those loudspeakers?
I don't know, but I'm sure he will answer. I don't know. Okay.
Neumann
So
KH310. Okay, it's in the same series as the previous Neumann loudspeakers, which used to be Kuffel and somebody, and I do like the series. I think it's relatively uncolored and probably pretty good for the price. But it's not my cup of tea. Personally, I would rather have something more accurate than that, but I don't think you can go wrong in that price range.
okay. Jonathan Wynn Diaz asks, hi.
Hi.
What do you think about the unmastered songs that are out there?
Haven't heard any.
Scoot over, Bob, into the shade, please. Over here. You see where there's a shade on the floor? That's where you're going to be. Okay, got it.
I love being on wheels.
Uh-huh. I know,
Okay,
I know.
closer because it's pretty noisy out here.
Okay, let me see. Preferred loudness levels for streaming platforms?
Well, I did answer that question earlier in this talk.
Okay.
I think you should once we turn this into a video, please. I'll try to give you the time at which it occurs. It was a pretty long answer. I took about 10 minutes to answer that, so I'd rather refer back to it. Sorry.
Uh-huh. Hello. Let me see what else. Well, I think you must have already spoken about the loudness war, right?
Oh, I am. Spoke about the loudness war and our progress in where we're going, I think, from here.
Okay, let me go more toward the beginning where I didn't know that I could scroll This is so great.
Scrolling. It's not for breakfast anymore.
Okay.
That was not funny. That was a dad joke.
That was a dad joke. Let's see. Now, Tom Hughes. How are you, Tom Hughes?
Hey, Tom,
we love
good
you.
to see you. We love you.
How do you feel about the preservation of frequencies over 20K through to playback?
All right. Totally unnecessary. However, we have to distinguish the difference between bandwidth and the means to limit that bandwidth. If the filtering that creates the reduced bandwidth is very poor, then the sound can get worse, and it's better to have the wider bandwidth. But it's not necessary to reproduce frequencies above 20 kilohertz in order to get full enjoyment. I've actually demonstrated and tested this about 3 or 4 times. Bob Stewart of Meridian has written a paper in the AES journal in recent months that demonstrates why the higher sample rates are working better without necessarily having the wide bandwidth at the same time. So I certainly advocate using higher sample rates because the converters perform better, but the extra frequency response just goes along for the ride. It's not necessary. I proved that to myself and to many others over the many years. So you don't need them, and there's a mafia that tries to measure, and they're saying that supposedly it's verboten to not have those extended frequencies in the original recording. However, I would suggest this simple experiment, which I have done. Take the best sample rate converter you have. For example, I use Weiss Sericon. Okay? Take an original, say 96 kilohertz recording, downsample it, and turn it into 32-bit 44.1 kilohertz. Okay? So downsample it to 44.1, or let's say 3244. I see a truck, but I don't know.
No, that's
not our truck. Okay.
USPS.
Okay, so step 1, downsample it to 3244. Hola, is this Pablo? Okay. Okay, 1 minute and the truck is arriving. Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Gracias. Okay. All right. He's making a left onto Northridge. I'm going to have to answer that question after our surprise package arrives. So
now, there was another question about what DSP software have you been using? I don't think that he's going to be turning the corner quite yet.
He's coming. He's coming.
Well, then why don't you start walking so that you can...
Right.
Okay.
So,
Let me see. Let me get over here because you need to be in the shade. Hi.
Pass the time.
I bring your mail too, okay?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. All right. So, what DSP software have I been using? Would you please
Get over here in the shade.
be more specific
Please?
for what? For what application? What? No.
No, it was
pickup.
picked up yesterday. That was
Okay.
yesterday or something. Oh, maybe so. Bob, here. Hold. Can you hold it here because I think I have.
Okay, any minute now, the truck is arriving and we will be on live while Mary runs out to get the package. Okay, so in answer to your question, what DSP software am I using? I don't know for what application. And Mary's going to have to scroll up to see the question. Mary, oh, here comes the truck. Okay, so this is going to
Don't
have
get me in the shot. No.
this is going to have to wait.
This is okay.
Okay.
There it
Surprise,
goes.
surprise.
Yay.
Okay. Can you see it?
I hope so. I can't even see. I think I have to get in the shade. Yeah, there he is. All right. Yeah, he's gonna have to back up, I imagine, or maybe not. No, he's gonna roll it in, I guess. Okay, Bob, you have to come and answer your questions so that you don't have people just watching a truck. Let me see if there's another question here. Okay. Let's see. What DSP software have you been using?
For loudspeaker correction, I've been using Rumi Q Wizard and Accurate Convolver.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Let's get close here, Mary. Not too close, but close enough to.
I can see him here. That's not a problem. Bob, you don't have to get so close. No te acer- Bobby, come here. Why are you... I will get it. I will get it. You stay over here. You, okay.
What's coming in the door?
Ah! You let me know once he starts pulling it out.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, how exciting. It's always so much fun.
This is the fun part, folks, is the arrival.
Yes, in the same way that everybody looks forward to their daily deliveries from either Amazon or all those wonderful people that are still delivering to us at this troubled moment in our national history.
Here it
We
comes.
certainly appreciate, you know, the hard work that all these people are performing for us. Oh, it's all
Whoa.
covered up.
Oh
Oh,
my God. Looks big, folks.
yeah. Looks big.
Muy bien,
Good.
gracias.
How are you doing, Pablo? Yeah. What do you think?
Okay.
So are you Boricua?
I was born in New York.
Oh, you're a New Yorican. All right. So I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to give you one of my books.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah, you'll fall on your...
I'm a New Yorker, but back in the days, back in when people were people, and people used to get along real good. Because when I was in the 70s in New York, it was just a beautiful, it was a harmony thing. But today, it's combobulated.
I know. But hey, you're going to fall on your ass when I give you my book. Ah!
Who
God,
speaks Spanish here?
me!
We both do.
We both do.
Like what relationship you have with Spanish?
Well, Mary was born in Colombia, and I,
Colombiana.
yeah.
Nací en Colombia. Ajá, ya hoy en día soy gringuita.
Okay. Don't let it fall.
Okay, Bob. Keep your distance, baby. Come on. Move away.
Oh my God.
Bob, move away.
Oh my God. Look at this thing.
Woo! Woo!
Colombia.
Oh, this is so fantastic, Pablo.
Holy crow.
Bob, can you move that chair out of the way so that he can get the...
I'll move it before he gets there.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna fall. Pablo.
Oh, so exciting. Yeah.
Put it on a tiny
Well, it's always hard to bring these packages in, isn't it? And Bob and I are gonna have to figure out all the magic of opening it, carrying it up to Studio B. Oop.
Mary just gave away a very important point, which is that this is a piece of audio equipment. So, what is it? I can't read all these questions.
Bob, come over here and let's look at some questions here. Let's see. Let me go all the way to the end and see if there have been any other questions. You have to move out of the way. Okay, move out of the way, baby. Bobby, move out of the way. Bob, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Salte. Out. 6 feet. You're not 6 feet. Get out of the way.
How could they have possibly prevented that thing from falling over during shipment?
It all depends on who's the one that's going to be handling the stuff. When I did it, I made sure.
Bob, get out of the way. Conchale. Get out of the way. Bob, move back. Come over here. Bob, move over here.
It looks like the weight is on that side there.
Bob, come here. You don't have to be telling him how to work. Come
I'm
here.
not telling him. I'm just.
Yeah.
watching.
So you're moving it in. There's always a way.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna have to pull it from the other side, from the back. And
Whatever it is, the weight, most of it is on that side there.
Bob, you're not 6 feet away. Conchale.
That's perfect, Pablo.
Thank you, Pablo.
You want to open it up and,
Bob, no, not right now.
well, not inspecting. I mean, just want me to open it up for you and take the stuff out. I'm just supposed to use it.
Bob, get away. Bob, you're not 6 feet away. Get away, please. Guys, 6 feet.
Mary's adhering
I'm
to
sorry.
the,
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay. So, no, thank you. We'll open it up.
Here, can you hold this? And I gotta give him his book.
Okay, so Mary's gonna give.
But well, but then you have a lot of Colombians that are pretty much like on the white side. But I had a girlfriend that was Colombian. I have a lot of good friends of mine that are Colombian.
Mary's going to give Pablo one of her books. So, folks,
Here
Let's-
you go, Pablo. My book. on
Suspenseful
soft
king.
music.
Oh, this
Okay.
is the queen of la Colombiana,
Celia
la
Cruz.
cubana.
Celia Cruz.
Celia
Cruz.
Cruz.
I have most of her CDs.
Good.
I met her in Miami. I met her in New York.
Me too.
Okay.
See, I was in back then. I was at I used to go to this place called the Palladium,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Casino 14,
Yeah.
El Pozo,
Nice.
and it was a lot of technique. It was a lot of the Latin that you was dancing back then. It was unique. It was with a touch of class. You mean? When you made them turn around, it was just not like today. Today, everybody just turning the woman around and just like you have to have some class to it. You mean? Like when you turn her around, just don't spin her around. Spin her around, but with a little bit of a touch of class that with her arm just meets up with
Okay,
your back
Mary.
and everything is like an execution.
Go in front of the camera and demonstrate a spin. Let me see you do a turn. Let me see you do a turn. Come on.
No, Bob.
Let me see you do a turn.
Bob,
Do
I
a turn.
didn't shower. You did. Get
Okay.
me out of there.
Okay, folks.
Enjoy it. It's
Thank you. All right. Now, let me scroll up and show you the package. Maybe you can figure it out.
in there. I
yeah.
told Willie Colon he didn't want to be my boss.
Willie Colon, he was really tight. He was really into what Hector Lavoe. Hector Lavoe was
It's enormous.
I got the document there. I met Hector Lavoe in person in Casino 14 because back then those guys would come out.
Of course.
Like,
Yes, as a matter of fact, we're going to wait
All of those
3 days
seeing there were
before we open this box, and by that point, I would assume that any remnants of COVID-19 will be removed. So it's going to be about a beer fridge. Somebody guys says it's a beer fridge. It's definitely a studio item, and I think a beer fridge is a very important studio item, but it's not a beer fridge. I talk too much, yes. All right, so we're going to hang up. You guys can guess for the next 3 days, and we'll be back on for the unboxing. And we're not going to open it up now. We're going to wait till any potential remnants of the virus have been removed before we touch this box. So we're not going to do the reveal. You guys can guess on this thread as to what it is has just come in. If you look back on this video and you look at the beginning, you might get an idea what's coming in. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll wait 24 hours before we open. Take care, guys. Thank you very much for watching.